Welcome back. Artificial intelligence is advancing at a lightning fast pace. And right now, a group of Minnesota educators and national experts are meeting to discuss what that means for both schools and students. It's called the AI for Minnesota Summit. Kent Erdahl shares how these conversations could shape the future of tech across the state.
St. Cloud's Apollo High School is a fitting setting to discuss one of the biggest new frontiers for humanity.
Students are afraid. They're afraid for their own future, and so am I.
Apollo teacher Matthew Stockinger is talking about AI and everything that comes with it.
The ecological concerns, the concerns about harming student learning, the concerns about screen time, all of that stuff matters. District 742 and us teachers, we are absolutely grappling with those things.
We would be doing our students an injustice if we held it at arm's length.
St. Cloud Superintendent Laurie Putnam says that's also how the AI for Minnesota Alliance began.
The very first conference, we were lucky to top 100.
This year, it's brought in more than 200 educators and at least 100 administrators and policymakers.
I think one of the most important steps that school leaders need to do is to set guidance and policy around AI use in a school district.
And say, okay, what are our goals?
And they're getting input from national experts.
The value of collecting more evidence.
Chris Agnew is the managing director of the AI Hub for Education at Stanford University. And he says separating fact from fiction with generative AI is difficult.
Evidence is really thin. As an example, there is not one high-quality causal study based on U.S. K-12 students using AI that exists right now. Let's evaluate the tool.
He says the good international studies out there have mixed results.
When students have AI, outcomes improve. When you take AI away, the results are really mixed, and it can sometimes see an erosion of outcomes.
But he says there's one big area of promise.
Saving teachers time for lesson planning with no loss of quality, teachers getting better feedback. So real downstream impacts for students, but when it's only teachers that are using the AI.
Uses of AI that can make me more efficient as a teacher, those help students.
Matthew says that's where AI gives him hope.
I have classes where I have students who struggle to read, and in the same classroom I have students who would absolutely be successful at collegiate level academics right now in the same classroom. With AI, I can take my lessons and I can differentiate my content fast.
And he says it's likely even more critical than ever in this new frontier.
We still need to create the problem solvers of the future because, if anything, AI is a magnifier and an accelerator. Those problems are going to come at us bigger and faster than ever before. We need human intelligence now more than we ever have.
The Minnesota School Boards Association and the Minnesota Department of Education are sponsors of the summit, and so are several Minnesota universities that train teachers. And the AI guidelines that St. Cloud developed with its own teachers and parents is now the model for the framework just rolled out by the state. Let's talk World Cup now. The FIFA World Cup. We're on day 6, and right now France is facing Senegal in New Jersey. And one player on the field is reminding fans of one of their favorite superheroes.
Kylian Mbappe of France is a player to watch. He's representing his home country and right now plays for Real Madrid. Mbappe's 27 and has scored 56 international goals coming into the tournament. But he's really known for his incredible speed, often running faster than the world's top sprinters. He's also known for being a good guy, once donating his entire earnings from a major soccer competition to charity. He's an entrepreneur, one of the youngest owners of a pro football or soccer club in history, after buying a major stake into a French team when he was just 25. And take a good look. His nickname is Donatello. His former teammates think he looks like the character from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And this afternoon, we're just 3 days out from the U.S.'s next game in the FIFA World Cup. The team will face off against Australia at Lumen Field. The guys headed out on the practice pitch yesterday for the first time since their big win against Paraguay Friday night. John Howard has the latest from the team's training camp in Southern California.
3 days removed from the Americans' most dominant performance in World Cup history, they have quickly turned the page and put Friday night's win against Paraguay in the rearview mirror.
And that's where the focus has to be. Every single day and every single training that we have now moving forward has to be preparation for Australia.
The matchup with the men from the land down under on Friday features the 15th ranked Americans against the 24th ranked Aussies. Team USA checks in as a half-goal favorite to win the match.
We analyzed that match. We're proud of what we did, but on to the next challenge.
These two teams played each other in a friendly last fall, with the United States trailing 1-0. Haji Wright scored 2 unanswered goals to give the U.S. the come-from-behind victory.
I think we respect everybody in the competition. Any team who's qualified for the World Cup can hurt us, so I think we're aware of that. We want to be cautious but confident going into the game.
Haji scored 2 goals against Australia in the friendly last fall. How much does that build his confidence, and do you expect him to do something special again in this match coming up?
Yeah, I hope he can do something special. I mean, I'll take anyone doing anything special. Do you know what I mean? We rely on every single person in our squad, and whenever guys get a chance, they obviously have to be ready to step up. That being said, Haji's obviously an unbelievable player, and he's shown that again this year in the championship, and he's a huge factor to the reason they got promoted.
Stakes are high as the match features the top 2 teams in Group D. The winner clinches a spot in the knockout round. The loser faces an unknown future. While the Aussies impressed the world with their 2-0 win over Turkey over the weekend, the atmosphere Friday will be vastly different. Saturday they played on a neutral field in Canada. Friday they will play at Lumen Field in Seattle, which is known as one of the loudest stadiums in the world. Roars have been registered at 137 decibels. That is an advantage that will heavily favor the already favored Americans. With the U.S. soccer team in Irvine, California, I'm John Howard.
Stick with us. More news and weather's coming up after the break.